Hello, welcome to the Executive Bite. My name is Kyle Rowland. Today we're going to be talking about the Inigo Montoya concept. So this is an interesting idea. In software development, a lot of the interpersonal things that we deal with, the people system that build the software, a lot of that is complicated, and a lot of the connections, the causal relationships are sophisticated, and their results are counterproductive, or counterintuitive rather. So when we're looking at this, and we're looking for areas that we want to streamline things, make ourselves faster, more cost effective. Some of the results and some of the levers that we go to pull are things that we may or may not expect. And one of these things is the Inigo Montoya concept. So what is this? So if you remember on the movie The Princess Bride, Inigo and Vicini are up on the, I think it's the Cliffs of Despair. And Vicini tells him, okay, I need you to dispatch the man in black. He says the most interesting quote. He says, I have to duel him left-handed because it's the only way I can get satisfaction. And so this is interesting because it's a really human thing. Inigo has been studying sword crafts for a large chunk of his life to get vengeance for his father. He's a technician, a master craftsman of that particular art form. And in order to really feel like he's getting his workout for the day, to reach his capacity, he wants to duel him left-handed because he thinks right-handed it'll be too easy. Now, of course, it doesn't turn out that way, but that's kind of beside the point for now. So the interesting thing about the Inigo Montoya concept is this is how software developers can be, is in that if the job turns out to be too easy, there are any number of things that we can do to make it more interesting and exciting, and to fulfill our intellectual capacity, as it were. The problem with this is that that's filling our intellectual capacity when it's not serving our purpose is simply waste. It's flushing money down the drain. And the way that we can get ourselves into this position as leaders is by inappropriately boxing in our developers. So how do we do that? We do that by allowing or promoting specialization. So front-end developers, back-end developers, DBAs, what have you, architecture. When you have these kind of specializations that aren't directly tied to a given feature or functionality, not only does the person engaging in the work lose sight of that, the actual value add that we're providing, but it also provides a lot of chance for the Inigo Montoya syndrome to kick in that, hey, these boundaries exist, and so I can't step outside them. And that means for a lot of use cases for a given specialty, for a decently skilled software developer, things are simply going to be too easy, and there's going to be a lot of desire to fill in that intellectual capacity to be challenged by the work that's being done. And so how does this show itself in the proliferation of JavaScript frameworks, in architectures that are gold-plated, in every kind of design and engineering aspect where things just simply become more complicated just because it's more interesting. Now, there's a lot of virtuous excuses for this, things like flexibility and defensive programming and things like that, but it boils down to the same thing that drove Inigo Montoya. It drives us and drives us towards waste. And so the way to battle this is to avoid specialization like the plague. So it's simply one of the worst practices that we find in engineering. So that's the start. And to make sure that as a team, as your software engineering teams are being structured, as you're setting them up to deliver the systems and the features and the functionality that you're looking for, make sure that it's top to bottom, that the developers that are building a feature understand the feature, the value that it brings to the customer and the business, and that they're responsible for everything from the top to the bottom. Again, maybe not themselves individually, but certainly the team, and definitely as that they have the ability to work across that, and there's no one telling them that they can't. Again, that'll help to avoid that waste and try to steer clear of the effects of the Inigo Montoya principle. So this has been the Executive Bite. My name is Kyle Rowland. Thanks for joining us today.